Hi everyone, it's Alchemistic, and I'm coming to you today with a video I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, really to kind of go into the depths of quote unquote matrix glitches and Mandela effects. In the past, I had done a video on this on my Instagram, so I'll be talking about that. I don't know if that video is still up because I took a lot of my videos down because it also had other topics that I no longer resonate with, but I will be getting into all of that stuff. But before I do, if you are new to me, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My channel is primarily about manifestation, law of assumption, spirituality topics. If that's your thing, go ahead and subscribe. Like the video if it resonates with you, and comment. Let me know what more you would like to see. And of course, for those returning to me, welcome back. Same thing. If you guys resonate with what I'm saying, definitely like the video, comment. Let me know if you have any questions and what other topics you'd like me to cover. Because I do have quite a few that I want to cover right now, but I am open to suggestions and what you guys might want to see. So to get into this, I first want to talk about quote unquote matrix glitches. And I'm probably going to be discussing this in a different way than other people have. I don't know. I mean, this is basically my reality and everything outside of me is me. And I've noticed like a lot of things that I've said in the past that people thought were absolutely insane. All of a sudden now in the current reality that I'm in, it's like people are adapting it more. More and more conversations are coming up about things that I've said for years, and as if it's normal and as if it's always been that way. So it's always interesting to see those type of shifts. So let's talk about matrix glitches. First, I have to kind of debunk the whole matrix, okay? There is no such thing as a quote unquote matrix. The reason why is because when people think about a matrix, they're thinking about like the movie, right? The Matrix. They're thinking about something that's outside of themselves, a quote unquote program, if you will, or computer program, or whatever you resonate with, that it's outside of you, that it's something that you can't even control because some other being or some other people are programming this thing, right? And that's not the case. If you want to believe in a matrix, you have to understand you are the coder. You are the programmer. And you're the observer and the characters and the NPCs and everything in between. That's where people get choked up. So if you're new to me, I'm going to go ahead and go over this briefly. The truth of the matter is that you are God, you are the universe, you are source, you are spirit, you are higher self, anything that you resonate with having a human experience. So to think that there's this quote unquote matrix, that's something that's outside of you, doesn't make sense when we know that the truth is that you are the universe, right? You are reality itself. So if you are reality itself, you are the quote unquote matrix. So let's talk about glitches within that. Okay. I've seen lots of glitches in my life, whether it's something changing right before my eyes, whether it's my cat's in one room and next thing I know, he's in another room meowing because the door is shut and he's locked in there and no one went in that room. No one's been in that room and he was just in the other room with me, right? Me and my son joke that he teleports. But it's not really teleportation. It's a quote unquote glitch, right? It's a shift. And what it really is every single moment of every single day, you are deciding your reality because you are reality. And you decide your reality based off of your thoughts, your assumptions, your feelings, your emotions, and everything in between. Whatever you decide you are being, that's your reality. So sometimes we can make a shift where, let's say 1 minute we're feeling down in the dumps, right? We're not feeling good about ourselves. And then the next minute we're feeling amazing. We're feeling on top of the world. And then all of a sudden, boom, you'll start seeing glitches. It's just a shift in your mind and a shift in your identity to where you'll all of a sudden see a glitch. Could be your pet glitches and they're in one spot of the house and then they're in another, like mine. It could be something changes right before your eyes, right? So recently, I'll talk about a glitch that I noticed recently, and this is very minor, but it's trippy sometimes, right? Is I went to go get a snack out of the kitchen, and I don't eat a lot of sweets. I don't eat a lot of like junk, really, but every now and then I want something, right? And I wanted a particular, gosh, what was it? Because this was the other day, and I've done shifts since then, obviously. So I wanted a Star Crunch. That's it. So for the Americans, you'll know what I'm talking about. I wanted a Star Crunch, and I don't buy those. My son does. So for those of you that don't know, I do have an adult son. He still lives with me, and he buys those, right? And so I went to see if there was any in there that he had bought, and I looked and there was none, right? The box wasn't there, because usually he has the boxes where they're open towards the front so you can just grab one out, and there was no box. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. And then I saw a box of of Nutty Buddies, and I was like, okay, I'll just take one of those. I went in to grab it, and as I was pulling the package out, literally it felt like a Nutty Buddy, right? Like it felt triangular, right? As I was pulling out, it changed into a flat circle, and it was a Star Crunch. Right in front of my eyes. I literally said that that's what I wanted, but I was settling for the Nutty Buddy, and it literally changed right in front of my eyes. Now, those of you that experience something like that, where it's like instant, it's right in front of your eyes, definitely comment, let me know. I love to hear those stories. But yeah, I've experienced that. I've experienced where I was driving down the road and I saw someone crossing a street on one street, and then I drive 2 miles and then the same person is crossing the street. Same clothes, same gender, same style, everything, right? Same person. And there's no way that a person can travel faster than a car, right? And be at the crosswalk on 2 different streets 2 miles apart. There's no way. So it's definitely a quote unquote glitch, right? And the reason for that is, like I said, you are constantly shifting realities. So let me explain that a little bit in depth here. Is every single moment of every single day, every single second, every single nanosecond, you are choosing who you are. And who you are dictates your outward reality, right? We see sometimes as our ego mind that our outside reality is separate from us, but it really isn't, because again, you are reality itself. So everything outside of you is you. It's just a reflection of you. So if one moment you're identifying as someone who is sad, and then the next minute you're identifying as someone who is completely fulfilled and happy, you're going to see shifts. Because you literally shifted that identity. You literally shifted who you are. So in that instance, you could see these glitches. Tell me if I'm wrong, because that's been my experience. When my cat has glitched, I've had glitches like that. And it's not always sad and happy. It could be many other different things. One moment you could have a headache, and then the next moment, all of a sudden it's gone and you don't even know where it went, right? But then you notice other glitches. And it's because you chose to no longer identify as someone that has a headache. And I know that sounds so simple, right? And that's really all it is. Just like a few moments ago, before I started recording this, my allergies were going crazy. I was congested. I was stuffed up. I couldn't talk very well. And I said, well, I need to go make a video so I'm no longer congested. And literally, I can breathe just fine right now. That was within minutes. Minutes. And sure, I took my allergy medicine today, but this is like hours after taking it. Right? So my point is literally you decide every single moment who you are. Who do you say you are? And then that shifts your reality. And then that's when you see the quote unquote glitches in the matrix. So like I said, you are reality itself. You are the matrix. So if you identify with a matrix, you are the matrix. You're the coder, you're the programmer, you're the developer, you're the producer, you're the characters, the main character and the NPCs, right? And everything in between. This is literally your reality. This is literally your matrix. Have fun with it. So let's go into Mandela effects. So if you're not familiar with Mandela effects, you can go ahead and Google that. You'll see tons of them, depending on your version of reality. So you'll see everything from different spellings of different things that have quote unquote changed, right? You'll see things in movies and pop culture and books and everything in between that has changed. Like, for example, for those of you that were raised on the Christian Bible or are currently identify as, religious based on the Bible, you'll probably resonate with this. There's a Mandela effect with that in the Bible, I always remember it saying the lion lays with the lamb, right? But now in this reality, it's with the wolf. That doesn't make sense to me. And that's because, again, it's a Mandela effect, right? The entire reality shifted. So there has to be shifts. Now, the first Mandela effect I ever noticed was the different spelling in Chick-fil-A. So I grew up in the South in the US. I grew up where there was a Chick-fil-A almost on every corner, right? And me and my friends used to make fun of the spelling of the name because we called it Chick-fil-A, because that's how it was spelled, Chickfila, right? And now, and this was when I first saw a Mandela effect, this was, years ago, I want to say 2015, 2016. And I was driving to go to a doctor appointment and I drove by a Chick-fil-A and it now had a K in it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. They changed the name. They must have got tired of being made fun of for Chick-fil-A. Then later, I Googled it to see when they changed the name, and it said that they never changed it. It's always been with the K. And then that's when I went down this whole ordeal of looking up Mandela effects, and I found many. I could go over so many, it would take a whole other video. Chick-fil-A was one, Berenstain Bears, Curious George no longer having a tail. There's so many, right? One major one for me, which was personal for me because my adoptive mother was older when she adopted me. I was adopted as a baby or taken in. I found out I was actually never adopted. She was just my guardian. She was older, so I grew up watching all the old classics, right? So I'm an older millennial. I was born in the 80s. However, I was raised like a boomer or a Gen X was because my adoptive mom was born in the 1940s. She was a silent gen, early 1940s. And so I grew up watching I Dream of Jeannie, I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke, Murder, She Wrote, you name it, right? All of the old classics. And one of the ones that came up for me, as far as Mandela effects, is in I Love Lucy, Ricky Ricardo no longer says his catchphrase that I grew up knowing, right? Lucy, you have some explaining to do. He no longer says that. You can look up any of the episodes and watch them. It's no longer there. And that is a quote unquote Mandela effect, right? And the only thing that I can figure is I've done a lot of shifts, right? I've shifted reality so many times that that's no longer in this current version of reality. Now, I have seen Mandela effect shift back. So, for example, if we talk about Forrest Gump, there was a Mandela effect that his famous line, "Life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get," was changed from life is like to life was like. And now it's back to is. So I've seen them show up and I've seen them reverse. It's insane. It's kind of like the one from Star Wars where Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father." He no longer says that. He says, I am your father. He doesn't say Luke. And I've had it where that one shifted back to where he said Luke and then back again to where he doesn't. So it's interesting how these work. But literally all they are, there's no conspiracy theory of like, oh, this is the government trying to see if they can get one over on us, or it's CERN, or it's false memories. It's not false memories. You're remembering correctly. You're remembering based off of a reality you were in previously. You're now in a new reality where things are different and things are changed, right? And I apologize, I forgot to put my phone on silent, so I know you guys hear it vibrating. But I don't want to go back and change it and edit this because I feel like I've said a lot of things in this that I don't want to take out. So, point is whether it's glitches in the matrix or it's Mandela effects, what it all boils down to is you are the creator of your reality. You are reality itself. You are literally the creator, the observer, and the main character all in one of your movie, of your video game, whatever you resonate with. I can break this down based off of anything you want, whether it's a movie, it's a video game, it's a novel, whatever. You are literally it. I am you talking to you. You manifested me giving you this message. You created me. In your version of reality, you created me. It's not, well, actually, it's so hard to explain. So it's not actually that you created me. It's that you shifted to where I'm there. Because creation is already finished, okay? So there is infinite numbers of realities. Anything that you wish to experience or desire is already there. It's just a matter of deciding that that's what you already are, and then you will experience that. Or that will show up. Whether it's quote unquote good or bad. So, example here, if you start identifying with someone that struggles with money, you're going to always struggle with money. If you identify with someone that is always abundant, you're always going to be abundant. And it can go for health as well. So let's say hypothetically, you went to the doctor and the doctor said that you have this certain illness, right? You weren't having symptoms before, but now all of a sudden you are, because you're now identifying with the person that has that. But as soon as you shift that reality, you will no longer have that. And if you want more information on what I'm talking about with that, go watch my video, Cancer Free in 6 weeks. Because I actually did that in my reality, okay? I decided I was no longer, I decided I was cancer free and therefore I was, even though I had a diagnosis. Okay. So go watch that. I explain it more in depth on that. But that's literally it, guys. Shifts in the matrix, Mandela effects, quote unquote false memories, right? Whatever you identify with, it's just you switching realities. It's just you really switching identities, because your identity dictates your reality. And you can be any identity you want. This is why, and I'll do a separate video on this, is why certain people can have, what's the term for it? Alter egos, right? Or personas, and they become that, right? So, like, gosh, and see, I need to do a separate video on it because I'm so focused on the Matrix and the the Mandela effects that I'm having a kind of a brain fart. But yeah, I'll do a separate video on that, on honing in on a different identity or ego and how you can become that and how your entire reality will shift. Mine has. I'm a completely different person than what I perceive I was 10 years ago. And that's because of all the shifts that I've made. So, in conclusion here, like I said, guys, this is so simple. You are reality. You are the universe. You are God. You are source. You are spirit. Anything you identify with, having a human experience. Your reality itself. You are the matrix. So any shifts within that, whether the Mandela effects or just glitches, right? Whatever you're observing, you are all of those things. So I hope that this resonated with you guys. My assumption is that everyone that watches my videos resonates with them and they get aha moments, or it's just them really remembering who they are. So if this resonated with you, definitely leave me a comment. If you have any questions, let me know. And comment below any Mandela effects you've experienced, glitches in the matrix. I love hearing those stories. But I'm going to go ahead and end this. And my assumption is all of those that watch my videos have an amazing day or an amazing night whenever they're watching this. Take care.